Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into episode 11 of Strat Watch. So here we go again, time to bring you more stratospheric data. We're up to update number 11, episode 11, and I shall get time of that for you in a moment. And just to say that first, video release day of our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We're live at 6 PM. We're live for the first time for a week with our 10 to 14 guests, so I shall see you a little bit later on for that one maybe. Please like, share, subscribe on all today's videos and content. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, okay, well let's start off with the current situation at 10 HPA in the stratosphere over the North Pole from the JMA. So the black line shows how temperatures have been performing at 10 HPA in the stratosphere through this season, right way to start September, versus the grey line, which of course is the trend. So around the turn of the year, just before New Year, we went down to minus 18 of the temperature at 10 HPA in the stratosphere there over the North Pole, really quite cold and colder than average. Within a few days though, we had shot up above minus 20, something like around minus 16, minus 17 degrees. So it's something like a 65 degree temperature rise. That's a very, very large temperature rise indeed. Of course, couldn't maintain that temperature indefinitely, so then we dropped back down again closer to average. We've risen back up again though, and currently we're hovering around minus 45, minus 46, minus 47, something a little bit like that. Still above the grey line, still above average with the temperature at 10 HPA. Go a little bit low down to 30 HPA. There the warming wasn't as dramatic, but some of that warming did propagate down to 30 HPA as well. Certainly went above average, and the temperature went up to something like around minus 55 or so. We're currently around there, somewhere around minus 58 perhaps. Again, above the grey line, so at both levels of the stratosphere, at both 10 and 30 HPA, we remain above average. Now, this rise in the temperature that we had at the beginning of January wasn't enough to reverse the zonal wind, so we didn't get a technical sudden stratospheric warming out of that rise in the temperature. However, we do now have a technical SSW taking place. It is primarily down to what happened there, I think, at the beginning of January. So this is from Weather is Cool, and the blue line here again shows how the zonal wind this time, not temperature, but the zonal wind has been performing through this season versus the black line, which is average. Now the all important line is the zero just there, so if you see that blue line has actually gone underneath the zero line, so that tells us that zonal winds have reversed. They did reverse on the 16th of January, I think also on the 15th, well, 15th to the 16th of January is when the zonal wind went into reverse. Excuse me. At 10 HPA in the stratosphere over North Pole, and that is a technical sudden stratospheric warming. If we add in the GFS ensembles, we can see that zonal winds are now predicted to start powering up, and actually will go back to average in about a week or so's time. Then maybe falling away a little bit again as we go towards the beginning of February, but of course that's a very, very long way out. By the way, this red dash line is last season, so last season being major reversal of zonal wind and SSW happened through the second half of February. I'm sure you remember that, and culminated in that cold start to March last year, and also an exceptionally wet March. Let's see what the CFS is forecasting. So CFS is indicating, remember it's run 4 times a day, but most of the CFS long-range forecasting zonal winds to go into reverse through February as well. So maybe it will be February, but we'll have to focus on for like the next reversal of zonal wind. This is how temperatures are currently looking at 10 HPA. So this warming that's happening over Siberia is what's finally tipped us over into reversals. Now, this is much more toned down compared to the warming we had like a couple of weeks ago at the start of January. But I say that one did a lot of damage to the polar vortex, really displaced it, you know, gave it a real kick in. So it doesn't take that much now to send the zonal wind into reverse, as it was already pretty weak from the earlier warming. This is how things are looking over the next few days with the latest GFS run. Also, I have a bit of a split of the polar vortex as its routes of stratosphere happening now on the 19th of January. See the two loads of blue splitting apart. It is only quite briefly, but that happens, and then the polar vortex starts reforming again as we go through in towards the 24th of January, and then in the extended range with this GFS run, we look like that. So gradually, the polar vortex depicted by both blue colours in the stratosphere, that's the PV at its roots in the stratosphere. Gradually, that starts edging back towards the polar region, and starting, you know, to begin to show signs that it's reinvigorating itself perhaps a little bit as well as we get into the latter stages of January. This from the University of Berlin. This also confirming that zonal winds have reversed technically, so a technical SSW has taken place. This was from ECMWF, generated on the 15th of January, that was Monday, for Tuesday, yesterday, 16th of January, minus 0.8 ms. That tells about zonal wind reverse on the 16th of January, and that reversal carries on the 17th of January today as well, minus 0.1 ms. So 2 days of true, you know, SSW type condition with a reversal of zonal winds at 10 HPA in the stratosphere. How exciting, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look at, well, maybe, I don't know. Let's have a look at some forecast data then. So, this is from the ECMWF extended 46-dayer. So, temperature, 10 HPA temperature, mean weekly anomalies. So, this is for week 1, 22nd, 29th of January. Still above average with the temperature over Greenland, for example, in the North Atlantic, through the course of next week. Week 2 sees a cool down, especially over on the Russian Siberian side of the Arctic. It actually starts turning colder than average then, quite notably so, with the temperature at 10 HPA. That's week 3, 5th to the 12th of February. Week 4, 12th, 19th February. No sign of any renewed warming actually through February, and that's the final week, which is going to be the 19th, 26th of February. Still keeping the temperature colder than average, especially over on the Atlantic side and the green side of the pole. There's a bit of a warming starting to take place over toward the Pacific and far eastern Russian side of the polar region, but no sign of another SSW during February there from the ECM temperature anomalies, and no sign of it either with the zonal wind forecast. So again, we can see that zonal winds reversing here. Just reversing the zonal wind at 10 HPA. We find that the zonal wind though through the next week powers, but actually goes a little bit above average by the time we get into the last week of January. I mean, you see this thick blue line just here, which is the ensemble mean, that is solidly above the long-term average, which is that red line just there, climatology. That's above climatology throughout February. So it looks like, I mean, we're expecting an SSW in February, really, and a reversal of zonal winds. But it looks like, actually, we might have quite a strong zonal wind through the course of February. If that was to start coupling with the troposphere, and it sounds that the polar vortex could be powering up essentially through February, at least in terms of the stratospheric level. Anyway, so if that powering up polar vortex in a stratospheric polar vortex, was to couple with the troposphere, then rather than the sort of blocked and, I suppose, cold February that we've been thinking we might get, as it's now Nino year, we might end up with a very mild February. And that sort of thing. So that'll be a little bit of surprise, and a little bit unexpected. But we shall see. We shall see. Sometimes you get a decoupling though between the troposphere and the stratosphere. So just because the polar vortex is powering up by looking at that the stratospheric level doesn't necessarily mean that it's powering up at the tropospheric level. But we'll see what happens anyway. We'll keep you updated, obviously. Right, that's it for episode 11 of Strat Watch. All very interesting, I think. So a major sudden stratospheric warming event has occurred with a reversal of zonal wind at 10 HPA, and we shall wait and see what, if any, sort of tropospheric response we get to that. If you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. It shows everyone for doing that, and we'll be back a little bit later on, actually at 6 PM, live streaming our 10 to 14 days. So I shall see you later on for that one, for episode 11 of Strat Watch. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.